Hello and welcome back to my channel, and thanks for rejoining me with my Holmes basic Dungeons and Dragons solo campaign. We'd left the characters a bit of a predicament. They were in the catacombs, and they had quite an adverse series of events with a number of rats coming out of the tunnels and the loose earth in the north of the room. And then, adding insult to injury, they opened one of the sarcophagi, and immediately we were confronted by a dancing dagger that did some grievous damage on our lawful evil hero, anti-hero, Weberan. He was quite severely mauled by this. I think where I had left it was that we were going to have a bit of a rain check and really come up with maybe a strategy of what we were going to do. So if we just put our characters back into the frame, we had Farah. She was on point, on guard duty, and the rest of our characters were dodging this dancing dagger that was doing its mischief on Weberan, and he was not a happy camper. And the dungeon master says, right, okay, this is what I think we need to do. We're going to take stock of the situation, and I'm going to summarize the situation for you. Looking at the party status, I think we've got some serious a serious position with numerous lost hit points. And Farah, you are down to only 1 hit point. Candela, you are you're quite weak on your hit points, and you're only 2 anyhow, so that's a potentially dangerous situation. Argenta, you are weakened, you're down to 4. It would only take 1 good hit and you're out. Weberan, you are down to 3, which is from 8, is quite a significant drop. And that leaves Beska Miltar and as our defense and a magic user, and it's not really a favorable situation for ongoing adventuring. Also, as the dungeon master, I have decided to I've been quite lenient on you for the first few hours down this dungeon. I am going to activate wandering monsters, and these are going to be activated from hour 3 thereafter. And if we just look at our time thing, this is where we were on the time before we actually entered this room and started to map it. So we were already at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we have, per my ready reckoner, we added on another 4 onto this. So we're actually up into the rest period. So if I do that, I'll say that we're actually up to 3 hours. So any time after this, I'm going to start invoking wandering monsters every 3 turns, which is... and the party is saying, come on, dungeon master, what's going on? And he says, well, I have been quite lenient up to now. I was really trying to give you a chance to get into the complex and see what's what. But now I think it's time to bring out the lethality of basic Dungeons and Dragons. You must be exposed to it. The honeymoon period is over. And also, one other thing I need to mention, the Dungeon Master also adds the objective of obtaining information concerning Zenopus and the Amulet of Power. And that was really your raison d'etre for being down here and exploring this, and you must keep that in mind. So, the party are left to deliberate their options, and they think, well, okay, so what can we do as a party? And they kind of distill it down into 3 different options, they say, well, first of all, what we can do is we continue with the search of the catacomb chamber and search of the sarcophagi. But this is potentially at high risk from ongoing rat attacks and the dangers in the sarcophagus themselves. The feeling is that that would probably jeopardize the mission. The next one would be to leave the room and continue with exploration, but we are a highly weakened state and vulnerable to one other attack, I would say. And again, I think this would probably jeopardize the mission. So each of the characters are probably saying, yep, we agree with that, or saying, well, Weberant's saying, come on, let's just get on with it. Let's find out. Got to open some of these sarcophagi. This was just a scratch, a flesh wound. I can take it. And they're saying, come on, Weberant, we really got to kind of stick together as a team. And the final option is to consolidate and exit the dungeon and return to Porthaven. Now, this is quite sad for the characters, but it is low risk. It preserves life. We can bank our treasure, heal our wounds. Quite importantly, relearn the sleep spell that Beskar Miltar has used, and keep on mission, which is the primary objective. So the party, they debate it. They have a bit of a ding-dong about it. Not for too long, because they are aware that the rats might be appearing at any minute. They decide to come down on the side of common sense, and they decide that the retreat and return option is the best. So their strategy, they say, right, okay, let's get out of this room first of all, and we can discuss our strategy as we progress back. Let's find a safe room that we were in before. So if we just get our map out, so I'll get my little characters. We're not going to use this room anymore. So we're going to go out this dungeon. So let's get our map out again. So we're in here. This is where all the sarcophagi are, and we had entered. So we're not going to try this door, because we're not going to go back through unexplored areas. We're going to follow the path that we've explored to get out. So we decide, all right, let's move back along this corridor and get back into this room here and reconstitute ourselves with the treasure that we left, those 2,000 copper pieces, and we can discuss strategy on the way. So we can actually move 240 every turn. We can move at basically the double exploration speed. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. So we're up to another turn. We're running out of room on our ready reckoner. I'll have to put it down here. So we have a turn there to get back into this room. We can, we think, right, okay, let's discuss, we've got to take a bit of a breather here. Let's discuss what our strategy will be. They reckon that what we need to do is report our expedition back to Amorphray Vane and see if she can see them right with healing and potentially furnish potions for a return expedition. So that is kind of like forefront of their thinking. Maybe just, she is their patron currently, see if she could help them out. They will rest up in the Salty Siren and return to the Tower of Zenopus in the morning. If they do rest up, this will actually provide them with a bit of respite, some healing, if no magical assistance is forthcoming. So if we could try to get some healing from Amorphray Vane, great. If we don't, we get the opportunity. Under Holmes, you can heal 1 to 3 every day you're out with the dungeon. So 1 to 3 hit points, we could get quite a bit of our hit points recovered. Potentially, if we are not very effective in our healing, we could always stay another day and delay it. One other thing I did notice, and I suppose this would be like the Weberan player would probably complain about this a bit, and Weberan would be quite angry. The dancing dagger, we did a damage resolution on the dancing dagger, and we did a 1d6. And I know I've got these house rules in play that say, well, actually, daggers only do 1d4 damage. So, and I realized that I inflicted 5 points of damage on Weberan. So I was thinking, should I cap it back down to 4 maximum and give Weberan a bit of relief? But I think I'm just going to keep the ruling in Holmes. It did specifically say that this dancing dagger did 1d6 of damage, and maybe it's because it's a magical blade and it's very sharp or something. It's made of something. It's very lethal. The way it dances around, it really kind of makes quite a gouge. I'm just going to stick with that. So we get back into this room here. We scoop up the 2,000 copper pieces. There is a 25% chance. Remember, we said that there could be a chance that it goes missing. So let's find out whether someone has pinched it. I don't know who's done it, but this could be the wandering monsters that have pinched it. So yes, someone has taken our copper pieces. The 2,000 copper pieces are no more. They have been. That's what you get for leaving your treasure lying around. We lose it. We have a potion of growth that we can maybe sell on the black market to compensate slightly. So that serves us right. Yeah. So let's see if we can get out before we have another 240 we can move. So that is easily going to get us out through these corridors, through these empty rooms, up the stairs, and we emerge into the sunlight. At last, we are out. We are completed stage 1 of the Tower of Zenopus. So moving on, and this is just a quick recap on the Wandering Monster table that I was going to bring in. So it'd be each 3 turns there is a check for a Wandering Monster with a roll of 6. And I thought, well, let's use some of the denizens of the actual dungeon itself that I'm aware of and I've read through on the module. And, you know, the favourite would be the giant rat, if we get a 1 found throughout the dungeon. A goblin scout from the goblin lair, possibly hunting. And I'm saying, well, maybe there are more goblins than just the ones that were in the barracks. You know, there could be more. And they could be using that as a centre of operations, and maybe some goblins have been out and about and they've come back and they've found all these slain goblins, so they might be on alert. And then we've got skeleton, maybe wandering from the crypts, a pirate lookout. There are pirates in this. Spoiler here, there are pirates exploring beyond their territory. Green slime drip, which is rather unpleasant, you know, a random hazard in a wet corridor. A giant crab, but this would be a small one, from flooded areas searching for prey. It's actually out and about doing some searching. And what I'm saying is usually it would be 1, but there is a 25% chance they number more than 1 or are more powerful than first thought. So there's always the chance that they could be a bit more lethal. And not just like your hero quest finding your wandering monster. There's one monster just wandering around. You know, they could be more powerful. So there we are. We're outside and back into Porthaven. That's the next section that I've got before me. So when the characters emerge, it is still daytime, and they quickly head towards town. Now, I would say that there's 2 options that they are before them. They could return to the Salty Siren to stash their loot and have a brief rest before doing anything else. So that's I've got more probability of them doing that. That seems to be the one that is more appealing at this stage. You know, they are tired. They are quite wounded, exhausted, dirty. You know, got little rat bites all over them. You know, they've been fending off diseases. They really want to just maybe have a good wash and get all the grime off, or are they going to head straight for the Town Watch headquarters and find Porthaven? So what are they going to do? So we can get the D6 of Porthaven navigation out, and as a 1 to 4, they are going to return to the Salty Siren first. So they decide to head straight for the Town Watch headquarters and find it. They are eager. They're eager to get. Maybe they're eager to get a bit of healing. Yeah. So let's see what they do. So just on Porthaven navigation, I'm saying the town is divided into some basic zones. The port and the dock area where the Salty Siren is located. So that's what we're saying is where our starting in is. The port and the dock area. The nearby market centre where the Town Watch is based. So that's where we're heading. And the outskirts towards the east of the town where the ruins are located. And that's where we are just now. So I've just made a bit of an abstract kind of zonal thing for the purposes of our adventuring just now. Now the DM says, he explains, he has been busy running other campaigns. He says, well, I'm actually in quite a bit of demand. I'm running this BX campaign. It's taking me a lot of time, and I've actually got an AD&D one on the go, and I don't really want to sort of mention it, but there's a RuneQuest one, and as a bit of a sideline, I'm doing Traveller, and I couldn't resist it. I had to start doing a bit of hero questing, and they're saying, Dungeon Master, just slow down, you should be focusing on our Holmes Basic. And he says, well, if Holmes Basic isn't really too much of an onerous thing, we can compromise on this surely. And what I suggest is, I'm saying I haven't had time yet to draw a map of Porthaven, but in the interim I will use this abstract method. And they say, okay, Dungeon Master, we think that's fair. We're really only focusing on a few areas in the town just now anyhow. So when out and about, there is a chance of an encounter if we roll a 6 on a d6 whenever we move between the zones, and we use a 1d10 for the encounter type. So because we're moving from the eastern area where the ruins are, we're going towards where the Town Watch is, we're going to roll for an encounter. So I've got a little encounter table for the town. So if we get a 6, we have an encounter. So we have no encounter. So we head into the town, we head towards the market, and what I need to do is I need to get to my sheet, which is, sorry about the little pause there. I realised I hadn't printed out my Town Watch headquarters page. So we head into the town. We are aware it's probably still around about midday. It's a bustling day in Porthaven. We head towards the Town Watch headquarters. We ask a few directions. People are very willing to give us instructions. We say, what does it look like? And he said, well, it's known as the Watch House. It's a sturdy 2-story stone building that stands out from Porthaven's more common timber structures. Located on the busy corner near the docks and the town square, its thick grey stone walls and heavy iron-bound oak door make it a clear symbol of authority. So we see this and we go, right, that really is the business. The ground floor houses a large common room that serves as the watch barracks, featuring a desk for taking reports, a wall rack for weapons, and a few small barred cells for temporary prisoners. So we stride in and we come up to the clerk at the desk and we say, we're here to see Porthaven, the captain of the watch. Can we have an audience with her? And he says, what is your do you know her, that kind of stuff. And we really have to go through a few ramifications. We explain that we have been doing a mission for her, and he says, oh right, yes, I have been informed. I was not expecting you back so early. Maybe I wasn't even expecting you back at all. It doesn't really sort of say that quite as blatantly as that. He says, right, okay, I can arrange, I can take you upstairs. So we go up a creaky wooden staircase, which leads to the second floor. which is dedicated to the watchman's private quarters and administrative duties. Here the captain has a Spartan office with a large pin map of Porthaven and a sturdy desk for official records. The remainder of the floor is a simple sleeping quarters with several cots for off-duty guards, so we hear a bit of snoring going on. The building isn't a fortress, but is a solid construction and limited access point make it a secure and imposing presence in the bustling port town. So you get a feeling that Captain Amifrey Vane is in quite a secure location. It's going to take quite a bit to shift this building. Maybe a few missiles from a catapult or whatever. Captain Amifrey Vane is in the room. She is still pensive. She says, "Oh, you're back. What brings you back so early? By the way, I'm quite pleased to see that you are still alive. Not too many people have returned from the Tower of Zenopus unscathed. Pray tell me, what have you discovered?" And we tell her the tale of what we have done. We say that we have been down, we have adventured, we came across some goblins, we had an encounter with a spider in a chamber, we entered the catacombs, but unfortunately we were rather overwhelmed by the number of rats that were coming out of the walls, and we didn't have time. Unfortunately, we had found no trace of Zenopus, nothing to hint about the Amulet of Power, but she does seem sympathetic to our tale, and she also seems convinced that our story is credible, and she does agree to offer assistance, because we say, well, look at us, we are quite affected by this. All of us have taken to some degree a level of wound. Could we please ask for your assistance? And she says, well, I can do that as your patron. I want to see this mission delivered on. I can give you assistance in the form of 1d3 + 1 healing potions, which can be taken away or used in any way. And I am just gonna, this is the small print. This will be deducted from any reward. So there's no such thing as a free lunch in Porthaven. I expect a return for my investment. So we're going to have access to 1d3 healing potions, and a healing potion, according to Holmes, is we look at our potions. I think it says it's the same as a healing spell. Protection, 3 wishes, regeneration, so I think, where is it? Magical potions. Healing. Like a healing spell, repairs a 6-sided die +1 number of points of damage. Music to our ears. And the draft can only be taken by one individual. Let's see how many she gives. And we're going to have 1d3 plus... Oh, I've already got the d6 in here. So that's a d6 divided by 2 + 1. So let's find out how many healing potions we get. Yes, we get the maximum. We get 4 healing potions. So I'll get my little post-it note out, and we have 4 potions of healing. And let's maybe go back to the Salty Siren and think about how we should strategically use our healing potions and not just snaffle them on the spot. Also, while we are just talking and we do discuss our plans, we say, right, what we plan to do, Amifrey, is to get healed up and then return to the Tower of Zenopus. We feel that there's still an awful lot of secrets there to be uncovered. And she says, well, you're right, because that Zenopus was there. He has lived. I know he has been dead for 50 years, but there must be traces that are still there. We just need some evidence that points towards this Amulet of Power. Also, I'm saying that there is a 25%, she has some additional information that has come to her attention of an abduction of one of the council members' daughters by the pirates operating in the region. And she is called Lamunda. She is the daughter of Leomund, who is on the council, and Lamunda is actually in the Tower of Zenopus, and she's actually built into the scenario. So I'm saying that there is a chance that this has become common knowledge because we have come out and there is a kind of almost like an alert out, missing person. So let's see if the 25% chance that she actually mentions this to the characters, or is it still a secret to them and it has not been discovered yet. So 28, almost. It was. Maybe there is a bit of a rumor going around, but no. So we know that as solo players, we already know that Lamunda is in the Tower of Zenopus somewhere, probably with the pirates, but the characters do not know. So we give thanks to Amorfray Vane. We say, look, right, Amorfray, what we're going to do, as we said, we're going to return to the Salty Siren. We're going to rest up overnight. We're going to see how we are the next morning, and then we are going to head off to the east of the town and return to the ruins the next day. She says, that sounds great. I look forward to having a positive report when you return. Hopefully these potions of healing will be sufficient to maintain you in your times of need. We say, yes, that is the idea, and that's why we decided to come straight to you first. And she says, right, okay, thank you. It's a good day to you. So we leave Amorfray Vane and we return. So we're going to go back to the Salty Siren. And to do that, we have to go through another zone. We have to go to where the Salty Siren is located, down at the port area and the dock area. So we'll do another encounter check. So if we get a 6 and a d6, we have an encounter. So yes, we do. as we come out of the... so what we do is we roll a d10. So let's get our d10 out. This is quite exciting. Our first actual encounter roll in Holmes, Dungeons and Dragons. We get a 4. So what does 4 say on the table? And you get a chance to look at the table too. So this is the table. 4. 1. Beggar informant. A grizzled old man or woman sits near a tavern, holding out a hand for coins. For a small donation, 1 to 2 silver pieces, well, that's quite a lot. That's inflation. They can provide rumors or a specific piece of information about a character or location. Their alignment is neutral. Okay. So is it going to be a man or a woman? We'll just do a straight, we'll do a 1 to 4, it's a man. So it's a grizzled old man. He's sitting near a tavern. We're probably actually getting into the dock area, and he says, "Arms for the poor, arms for the poor. Just for a very small donation, I can answer any of your questions. And do we feel sorry for him? Do we care? Well, who have we got in our party that would be soft-hearted enough to?" So we've got the Zealous Crusader, Candela. She's dedicated to battling evil, and she has an unwavering faith and iron will, and she's a bringer of light. So she might be quite open to being charitable. And Argenta, she's dedicated to a noble cause, fighting for a chivalric idea. So again, she might be quite sympathetic. Maybe a bit on the harsher side, sort of like this is the kind of almost like survival of the fittest view. And then we've got Farah. She's solitary quest for a new home, quiet, observant, feels very alone. Yeah, she might feel quite attuned to his plight. Feel a bit sorry for him. She's a different race, so maybe if she doesn't feel as sorry for her, if it was an elf or something, she might be a bit. I'll leave the best to last. We will do Beska Miltar, and he is a hard worker, studious. He's quite naive, so he is definitely probably going to be quite charitable and feel that he should help this individual out. And then we've got Weberan, who is probably just going to say, forget it, get out of my way. What are you waiting? Look, I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I want to get back to this to my tavern. I don't want to waste my time on you, the likes of you, you wretch. So let's see who wins on the thing. Do we do it? Does Weberan's his view? He's basically outnumbered 4 to 1. So I would say that probably on a probability we're going to have probably say 1 to 2. We will Weberan is so vociferous that we just decide no, it's not worth it, and we move past. Or 3 to 6, we decide to give this person some coins. So we do emphatically. We say, Weberan, be quiet. Get back in your box. We are charitable, and we give 1 to 2 silver pieces to this person, and we give 2 silver pieces. So 2 silver pieces. And he says, "Oh, I am very grateful, masters. I can provide you with information. If you tell me where you are, I will come and bring you some interesting nuggets of information. Tell me where do you reside?" And we say, "Well, we're actually staying at the Salty Siren. If you ever come up with anything decent." And he says, "Yes, you've been so kind. Apart from that tall barbarian type, I do not like his look." But he's got almost the grizzled old man is kind of wincing away from Weberan, who is scowling in from the corner. He says, I will return the favor. I know where you are staying." So we say, okay, we haven't really got time for all this just now, but it's been okay meeting you. So we leave the beggar, the informant. We didn't realize that he was a bit of an informant. We just thought, definitely Weberan just thought he was a bit of a menace. But that proves that maybe we can get a bit of information out of this individual later on. Okay, and I can be working away on that little strategy to see whether he can come up with something good for the next session. All right, so we get back to the Salty Siren, and we come through the door, and Gormadoc's there, and he says, "Oh, you're back. You've actually returned." It's almost like everybody's cheering and exulting. It's not really quite like that. So on return, there is an event during that day, and I've got this D12 event thing that I'm going to invoke. And what we're going to do is get the D12 out, and I'm saying there's an automatic event. The first, where is my D12? Here we go. There's an automatic event the first time that we come in. So let's find out what the event is that we have to. So we get a 12. So we get Gormadoc's cat refuses to enter when the party is present. It hisses at one member only. Dear. Okay, so we've got our 5. So the cat is Gormadoc's going, "That's a bit strange. Our cat doesn't really want to come in. There's fish out for it and everything." So one of our party members is going to get a bit of a hiss. And who do you think is probably got the most likely? We'll do a D6, and we'll say that Weberan is probably exuding the most. So he's a 1 to 2, and the rest will just do in order. So which individual does the cat take a bit of dislike to? Yes, Weberan hisses. It goes, "Yeah, I don't like cats." Yeah, they make my skin crawl. Tattoos are starting to prickle up. In fact, I've got a tattoo that is anti-cat. I'm much more of a dog kind of guy. Yeah, and Gormadoc says, "Look, just don't give my cat a hard time. I'm very fond of it. I'd rather, between you and the cat barbarian, I know which one I would choose." So Weberan decides, right, he's not going to tone it up. He's going to try and calm it down a bit. So we've had our little our little event, and if we stay we will get a bit more information, sorry, a bit more chance of having an event in future. So let's just do a bit of housekeeping. We're back and we're going to stay the night in the Salty Siren. So if we look at our tally of where we have to be, and also the 4 potions of healing. Now we do know that we are going to heal 1 to 3 overnight. So Argenta says, look, the best strategy for us to do is to just try and heal up as much as we can overnight, see where we are placed in the morning, and if anybody is really in need, we will use a healing potion on them. Otherwise, what I suggest is we just head straight back into the tower, the ruins, and continue on with our adventure. Do you think there's anything else that we need apart from these healing potions? And I think the consensus of the party is that they've got quite a lot of good equipment in their packs, because each of them have got these packs that we've got with torches and sacks and all sorts of stuff. They do say to Gormadok, can we bank we've got some stuff here, can we store it away? And he says, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll take a note of that. So we've banked all this 1,000 silver pieces, and we've got the potion of growth. The +1 dagger, Beskar Miltar's got that as a reward for doing his stuff. He recovers his sleeping spell overnight. So that is, he rememorizes that. So we're back up to full level on that. So let's do just a roll to see who has been wounded and see how much we actually recover. So Argenta, she is going to recover 1 to 3 hit points, and she only has 2 as a deficit to make up. So let's see how she does. So she gets fully up to back up to 6. So if we just take that off, get the eraser on there, and we're back up to 6. So that's good. Argenta will not need any other form of backup. Farah, we could do with that same roll for her. So let's find out what Farah gets. Yes, yeah, that's good. So we're back up to 4 with Farah. So this is without any healing potions. So this is really good news for the characters. They could do with this after such a disastrous time last time. Basically, they need a bit more protection for the sarcophagi that they're going to try to explore. And that would be the question, is where do they go next time when they go back in? Are they going to go straight to that sarcophagus room? Or are they going to keep that for later on and maybe try to focus on their objective? And then we have Weberan, and he is going to be a bit of the maximum he's going to get is 3. So he's going to be a bit short. Is it worth wasting a healing potion on him? Let's see how we get on with this. So he only recovers 1. So, yeah. So we're down to 3. We're back up to 4. Yeah, he's got a bit of a deficit. So I would say that it's probably worthwhile giving him, we've got 4 hit points to get. It's worthwhile giving him a healing potion if we want to head away, yeah, today. So, yeah. If we stay around, we might actually have another encounter that we need to do in the event, in the thing, and that might kind of curtail some of our operations. We really could do with just getting off and back into that dungeon. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to cash in one of our potions. We're going to go down to 3. So we have 1d6 plus 1 is going to be recovered for Weberan. Now Weberan is basically our kind of shield. We're going to use him to absorb most of the damage, so we could really do. So we will get 3. So he's not up to full. He's back up to 7. So that's probably the best that we can do. And he was 5 down. So yeah. So we're only 1 down on Weberan. We think, well, that's enough. We've got 3 potions of healing that we can take in. That's probably going to be sufficient. Okay, so we're just about ready to get back into the dungeon. So what I think I'll do is I think I will probably just wrap this one up for this this session. We've basically achieved our objectives, because where we were going to basically try to rationalize what our strategy was. We've done that. We've managed to thrash that out in the dungeon and during our travels back. We've gone back to our patron. We have updated her. She has very kindly given us some healing potions, which is going to relieve us. We are going into the dungeon armed with 3 potions. Hopefully that is going to be sufficient to avoid any major casualties. Although it does show you how deadly the system is. The fact that we were quite close. People like Farah, she almost died in that. She was down to 1. If our cleric, she could be quite easily wiped out with 1 hit. So these healing potions are probably going to be quite indispensable. How much more of this dungeon have we got to explore? There's probably still a lot of danger. Are we going to go back to the sarcophagus, the catacombs? Are we going to risk more time there and more rat encounters? That is the question. So that might be just a case of the characters having to come to a bit of a decision when we enter the dungeon next time. But for the meantime, I think we've probably done enough for today. We've got back into the town. I've shown you a few encounter tables we're going to use. We are going to activate the wandering monster in the tower itself. That's going to make it there's a bit more jeopardy, and there's a bit more going to be focus on time. So things like exploring the catacombs might be put down the order of priority, because we've got to get in quick, get round that place and try to find out anything we can on Zenopus, and then try to get back out again and maybe get access to that amazing reward that I'm afraid Vane has promised us. We've probably got a bit of a deficit just now because we're 4 healing potions down. Okay, well, I enjoyed that. Hopefully you found that fun. We've got our mojo back. We're almost fully healed. We're ready to adventure again with our second delve into the Tower of Zenopus. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too, and you can join me next time.